All right, so I'll go through, I'll show y'all how to make the rubber handle sleeve, this right here. Like I said, y'all, it's important that the first thing you want to do is actually sketch this, and then we'll put the dimensions in. So what we do is we're going to start a new file, standard inches.ipt, make sure we're in the English template. We're going to start a 2D sketch on the XY plane. All right. So I go back here, I'm going to start with this line, and I'm just going to use lines to roughly draw this shape. Doesn't need to be 100% perfect, just rough shape. I will at least put the dimension for this first one. I know that it is 4.469. All right, that'll let me get the rough shape for the rest of it. So now all I'm going to do is just go in and just drawing the shape. Right click, OK, and we have a closed loop. The next thing that you notice if you look at it is that the construction line represents the axis of rotation. What that means is that we need to put a construction line up here. So I'm going to go back, I'm going to turn on the construction line, and I'm going to use the line tool, and I'm just going to sketch a construction line. I'll right click OK, and then you need to turn the construction line back off. So remember, you do all that. All right. Next thing we want to do is let's go in and put the dimensions that we know are there. So I know that the width of this is 0.156. So I'm going to put this dimension at 0.156. All right, the rest of the dimensions we need to get off of the other sketch. The easiest, these are fill in the blanks. And once you do these, the rest of it will fill in naturally. The easiest one is to get this dimension right here. This thickness, it is represented by the 0.25 right there. Remember that when you're looking at this, if you look at only this bottom half, that represents what we're sketching right here. So I'm going to make this 0.25, and there we go. All right. The only other things that we're missing is the distance from the construction line to the top here and from the construction line to the outside edge here. Those, if you look at it, are represented by these diameters. But there's a catch. Remember that a diameter is the full length from one side of a circle to the other, correct? And if we're looking at this, we're not looking at the full length of a circle. We're looking from only the center of the rotation, the center point to the edge. So instead of a diameter, we're looking at a radius. And remember that the radius is half of the diameter. Now, Autodesk can do the math for us. So we have this diameter of 0.1875 right here at this opening. What I'm going to do is use the dimension tool from the construction line to the top. We're going to click to place. I'm going to click again to edit. And I'm going to put the diameter that was given, 0.1875, but then I'm going to use the backslash symbol for divided by. I'm going to say that divided by 2, because we want a radius, which is half the diameter. All right, see how it's moved our construction line kind of into place. The next one that we need is this outer diameter of 1.375. Once again, that is the outside edge to outside edge, and that's going to represent this. So we're going to put the dimension here to here. This outer diameter is 1.375 divided by 2. All right, so y'all see how that's modified that stuff for us. All right, and our sketch is, it says 2 dimensions needed, but we should be constrained and good to go here. We've got all the dimensions necessary. So we're going to hit Finish Sketch. All right, we look at the next step here. Revolve at a full 360 degrees. That's using the Revolve tool, the Revolve feature I showed y'all earlier. So we revolve, we've selected our profile. We need to select the axis we're going to revolve around. This is why the construction line is important. You have to revolve around the construction line. All right. And the construction line gives you that opening in the front. All right, I'm going to show you what happens if you don't revolve around the construction line. If you're following along later, don't do this. But if I just revolved around this feature, notice that it will close off the front, and we don't need that. So that's why when we revolve, we're using the construction line. All right. Next thing that we need is to use the fillet feature on the edges. We need to round off these edges. So the round for the outside edges, and it gives us the examples that we want right here. Our round on the outside edges is 0.25. We can see it right there. So we're going to use the fillet. We want our radius to be 0.25. Now we click the edges that we want to fillet. There's one, and here is the other. We hit apply, and there we go. So with that, the rubber handle is done. If you want to change the appearance using the color menu, you're more than welcome to. This is how you complete the rubber handle.